All right, and welcome back to episode 097 of the OK podcast powered by the Strength Co. I'm your host, Grant Broggi, and we are recording live from Costa Mesa, California. We may be live on the internet. We're trying to be live on X. We'd like to be live on X. We hang out on X. You don't follow us on X, us being the OK_pod. Well, 134 of you do. Those are those loyal listeners. We appreciate that. But we're recording live in studio. I'm here, Costa Mesa, California, South California. The price of Bitcoin is $67,655.56. I hope you bought the dip. We didn't hit 50s, but we hit pretty low. So I hope you bought it. If you didn't, you should have. And for people in the comments, I appreciate the Spotify comments, but you guys just like dial it down, okay? You don't need to get on there and say Bitcoin isn't real. You know, just relax, okay? This is a therapy session for the three of us. We're just a couple of Marine officers trying to get through life. So just relax. We'll answer your questions. Everything's okay. Bitcoin, by the way, is very real. And you heard it here on the OK Podcast. I'm joined today with my co-host, Mr. Jeff Buege, Major Type, currently not in a drilling status, from the greater Salt Lake City area. Once a Marine, always a Marine, and he's still a Marine. Hoorah, Semper Fi. He's joining us from Utah, and then also coming to us from Killeen, Texas. Is there a Killeen? I'll let you pick the spelling. Yeah, a Killeen, Texas. He's choosing Texas. He sells hoses for a living, but again, once a Marine, always a Marine. Mr. Troy Gottlich, Robert Trey Gottlich III. Don't get it confused with RG3. If you're going under Twitter or, X, formerly known as Twitter, or Instagram, and you're looking for Trey and you type in RG3, don't get it twisted. There's also an African-American, also known as black quarterback, that played for the Redskins, also known as the Commanders, named RG3. Yeah, one of Heisman. Yeah, kind of important. Baylor, right?
Yeah, it's correct.
Yeah, but that's not Trey. Trey's different. Trey's our favorite logistician. We got a guest today, so we got to keep the staff brief, if you will. I got to keep the wheels turning and get it going. Today's date is February the 17th in the year of our Lord, 2026. I hate to say it, but the Seattle Seahawks are Super Bowl champions, which is sad, but I give credit where credit is due. If you're a Seahawks fan, you should go over to Gridiron Green, and get yourself a helmet. You can get a mini helmet. You get a full-size helmet. You could get all kinds of helmet. You get a helmet with a visor. The options are endless. You could get a Seahawks helmet with your name on it if you really wanted to. But that's one of our sponsors, so we appreciate Mr. Helmet for all you do. And with that, I feel like I forgot some things in my intro. But with that, we'll turn it over to the three.
Hey, all right. Hey, thanks. Okay, we got time. Time is the priority, so time is of the essence. We're gonna kick it off. S1, what do you got for us? Just yes or no. Are the numbers bumping? And we'll move it along. Yes or no. Are they bumping?
That's you, Trey.
Oh yes, sir. Sir, bumping like crazy.
Oh, that's good to hear. Good to hear. All right. Hey, thanks, S1. Thanks for everything you do. S2, what do we got?
Oh, is that Lieutenant Johnson? CV2?
That's Lieutenant Johnson.
Oh. Good evening, sir. Good evening, staff. Lieutenant Johnson here. If I got a little background noise, sorry, I'm at home. I have a wife and 2 kids. I know I'm only 22 years old and just commissioned like yesterday, but we got started early. I'm actually Mormon, and that is why I love the Church of the Latter-day Saints. With that said, I'm going to take you over here to this map sheet. If you look at the map sheet, you can see there's a lot going on in the world. This puck represents the Epstein files, and all the miniature pucks throughout the globe represent people affected by the Epstein files. Now, you can get lost in the noise, but we don't like noise. We want to know who's not in the Epstein files. And I can safely report, sir, you, Trash 6, are not in the Epstein files. And without further ado, I have nothing more for the group. That's all for me. Pending any questions, that's all I have, sir.
Great character development.
Good brief. Okay, excellent work. Understood the mission. The mission is time is of the essence. Okay, we're moving along to S3. No updates to the slides. Okay, but can we click back 13 slides. Okay, yep. Go back 13 slides. Okay, yep. Nope. Wait, nope.
Yep.
One more.
Oh,
Okay, yep. Nope. That slide.
Oh.
Okay, yep. That slide right there. Gonna pull out the field grade hat here for a second. If you notice, we've got a Helvetica font mixed with Times New Roman, mixed with Courier New. I don't want to see that trash. Okay, that is JV level PowerPoint. Okay, we are varsity level here at Trash Battalion. Okay, I never want to see that again. That is disrespectful to the mission of this battalion, to our commanding officer, Trash 6. We owe better. That's all I have for the group. Moving on to the S4.
Hey, real quick, Trash 6 here. I just want to say 2 things keep me up at night. And the 3, that's why he's an Iron Major. 2 things keep me up at night. 1, trash, particularly if it's unsecured. And obviously the Marines, that goes without saying. But the second thing is if I'm delivered a brief and the fonts don't match, that tells me you're not paying attention, right? There was a band one time had a bunch of M&Ms, and every time they went to play, they'd say we don't want brown M&Ms. And one time they went to play, and there was brown M&Ms, and they left because then they wouldn't have been able to handle the pyrotechnics. I'm the same way. You hand me a bag of trash, I don't want to see any brown M&Ms in there. And so 3, I appreciate you see the vision. You're on the team. You are the team, and appreciate what you do. And continue. Yeah, continue. I'm off my soapbox.
Great insights, sir. Great insights. Always good when we can talk about M&Ms as a unit. Okay, S4. What do we got?
Sir, I just want to apologize. I did not get the memo on if you click over my slide, you'll notice it's in wingdings. So I apologize for that. Did not see that come out. But if you don't read wingdings, it says, want to thank you for the participation in the working party to pick up the trash. We are forming another one. So if we could just get the battery commanders to participate in that 100%, should be good to go. That's all I have for the group, sir. Thank you.
Great brief. Okay, medical, dental. Do we have any representatives from medical?
Yes, sir. For medical, I'm medical and dental because dental's a subsidiary. It's a department of medical, kind of like the Marine Corps is a department of the Navy. So dental is technically a department of medical. And I just wanted to say for medical dental, we're going to have a dental rodeo because our dental numbers have plummeted. And I know that everyone is shocked by this, that we're at 3%. But see, what happens, sir, is we don't do dental all year. And then we do these rodeos and everyone comes. And so then everyone expires at the same time. I will give the same recommendation that I've always given is if you're worried about the slideshow and not a drop off in number percentage, every quarter we could do like 20% of Trash Battalion, and then we could just kind of always be at 75%. That's been shot down numerous times, but I stand again. I'm in the Navy, so sometimes I provide logic. So I'll throw that out there for the group. Besides that, sir, I have nothing else to brief.
Well, although this happened the last 4 years in a row, we're just shocked that the numbers dropped at this time. We are shocked by this result, and it is unacceptable. So the rodeo needs to happen, and it needs to happen with full participation. Okay, S6. Anything we got from the comm shop?
That's you, Trey.
Oh, that's me. Sir, nothing really for the group. Record jackets, as I mentioned previously, that we threw them all out, start all over. But they're going pretty good. We're about 5% through them. I anticipate we should be done in about 3 to 4 years by the time I probably take off here. That's really all I have for the group, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Trash 5 here. Good brief. Record jackets are a good mission, and you understand the mission, and we appreciate what we do. Thank you for your service. Seriously, I mean that. Trash 5 out.
Oh, thank you, sir. That means a lot.
Okay, yeah. Special staff, chaps, 5, sorry, major. Anything to add to the brief before we go to the outline stations?
Change your socks.
Oh, is that Sergeant Major?
What's that?
Wow.
That was definitely Sergeant Major.
Change your socks. That's good. Hey, Trash Six here. Appreciate what you do. Appreciate what you do for the team. I appreciate the Outline Stations. I appreciate folks following us on X, really working on our social media game. Appreciate the YouTube comments. Most of all, I appreciate you and what you do for the Mission of Trash Battalion. But with that, take us to the Outline Stations 3. We got to get a guest in here. We want to respect his time. We never respect our own time, but we want to respect his time. So take us to Outline Stations real quick. I think we got quite a few.
Got a handful of Outline Stations checking in. Looks like this was a saved or a question. A question that was pending when the 4 briefed, and they said pending any questions. This is a pending question.
Saved round. So
is AS4 is Trash 6 tracking the deadline trash trucks? If Trash 6 is not tracking the deadline trash trucks, I think you got some explaining to do. That'll probably be something you need to get offline with. But a valid question asked.
4, have a sidebar with Trash 5, and then brief me in the maintenance meeting on the deadline.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. No, I'll go with you offline because the trash trucks are also.
Yeah. Offline. Mike Kelly, appreciate your service. Thanks, Mike.
Yep. Keeping me honest. All right.
All right. We got our boys over at Massonomics checking in. Heavy thoughts. Maybe the real police calls were the friends we made along the way.
Man, that's going to keep me up tonight thinking about that.
That is quite the thought.
It's heavy.
All right. And hey, we got our resident Billy Martin, friend of the podcast, Sean Shepard, checking in. Trash 69 out here, continuing to pick up trash and keeping my area pristine. Apparently, with the Winter Olympics in full swing, people think laziness is an Olympic sport and drop their trash on the ground and walk away like they're going to get a medal for it. Where is Terry Tate when you need him the most?
Good reference. Good reference. What's the age cutoff for understanding Terry Tate?
Ooh, that's a great question.
It's got to be like 25, 30 maybe.
I bet probably closer to 30.
Yeah.
I'm going to start asking.
What was that commercial? Was that like 03, 04?
Yeah, I think the Patriots only had one Super Bowl championship then, if I remember correctly, when it came out.
Gosh. Okay, and then last but not least, hey, we got Chaps checking in. All right, Chaplain checking in. Comms has been all over the place, so sorry I'm late to the meeting. I swear my slides will be up to date next week. Until then, just remember. Yeah, but everybody says that. Everyone says that.
Everyone
Heard that
says
once.
that.
Heard it 1,000 times, Chaps.
2003 linebacker commercial. Good job.
Ooh, nice.
Trey. Look at you. All right, continue.
All right, then Chaps wants us to behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb, a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who fills his quiver with them. He shall not put to shame when he speaks with his enemies in the gates or in the gate. Not only is the full quiver a blessing, it's also the opportunity to create more trash. This means there's trash to secure. Secure the trash, fill the quiver, nothing else for the group. Over.
Hey, a heritage from the Lord. It's what we've always said. That's it. No more outlying stations.
Those are our outlying stations.
Man, I got to say, I told the guests 2030 Zulu time, and we're TOT guys. And I'm actually just going to wait like 5 seconds and say, stand by, enter.
Gentlemen.
All right. We're loading up there.
All right.
How are you, gentlemen?
We're doing good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good. Actually, I just walked in the door. I was at a concert tonight.
Oh, who'd you see?
A tribute band. Pink Floyd tribute band.
Yeah.
Another brick in the wall.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Any good?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, good enough. Yeah.
Definitely worth to see.
Let me introduce you a little bit. We got on the podcast. We've talked about it multiple times. You've seen us in the Ohio State T-shirts on the podcast because of our friend of the podcast, Troy Campbell Sr., OH. Yes,
sir.
I'd say former Marine, but once a Marine, always a Marine. But Marine, his son, hence the senior, I deployed with, or not me, but my buddy last year. And I don't actually know how you found the show. Troy II never told me that. So we may ask you that tonight.
Yeah.
But let me get this right. Marine in the late 80s?
Yes, late 80s, early 90s.
Okay, late 80s, early 90s.
Yes.
Got out after a 4-year contract, and then lineman?
I am, yes. I did just over a year in the reserves as well.
Okay. Oh, you're one of us. You're one of us. We appreciate that. Now, don't say that out loud. You don't want that stink on you.
Well, you're right. I had a captain who advised me not to go into the reserves.
Ooh.
He said that would leave a bad taste in my mouth. But again,
it did.
No. Things were a lot different then.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So, I think after September 11th, the reserves, that really became serious at that point.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That'll probably be a good topic of conversation too. And then a lineman for, what are you, 30 years?
Going into my 29th year.
Going into your 29th year. Okay.
Yeah. So just over the state line in Michigan.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. What city?
Well, Consumers Energy is the company, and so if we look at Michigan as
it's a hand.
Yes. So Detroit Edison has this part of the hand. Yep. Consumers has the rest of the state.
Oh, damn.
Oh, okay. Detroit Edison. Who are those guys?
Yeah, well, I did my apprenticeship with those guys, and that was quite an education. Yes.
Never a dull moment. You're living in Michigan. You're not on the other side of the border.
No, actually, I live in Ohio, just over the state line, just outside of Toledo.
Okay. Hence East Coast time. Jeff, Trey, and I have all been to Columbus, Ohio together. The Strength Co has done the Arnold 4 times. Jeff's been to 2. Trey's been to 1. So then the 3 of us have been to 1. And every time we go to Columbus, Ohio, you know, Jeff and I are East Coast guys, South Carolina, Georgia, and the Northeast. And Trey's a Texas guy. I don't even know how to categorize those people. But it always blows our mind that Ohio is directly above Georgia. Like it's really weird because to me, I think like, oh, Midwest. I'm a person that subscribes to Ohio's the Midwest. And I think it's like up and to the left. And then when I was driving from South Carolina to Columbus, I'm like, wow, I just got to go north.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Kind of weird.
Yeah. I made that drive a lot to Camp Lejeune.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump off there. We got a lot of Marines that listen to the pod, current Marines. I know there's no such thing as a former Marine, but I would say no longer serving Marines that listen. We'll put it that way. So they might be interested in it. I think Trey in particular might have a good time listening to you tell us a little bit about your Marine Corps journey because he's been out. What have you been out now, Trey? 10 years?
Oh, wow.
2016 is when I got out. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so 10 years this year. And so he every time we do our little funny staff brief that people tell us not to stop doing, he's like, nothing has changed. So I guess, when did you enlist?
I enlisted in 1988, 4 days after I graduated high school.
Nice.
Okay. Paris Island, my hometown, I assume.
No, actually, I'm San Diego.
Okay.
So our area of the country, we mapped out of Detroit, and Detroit was San Diego.
Sure.
But if you were a family legacy or something like that, then you could get a waiver to go to Paris Island.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. And then what was your MOS?
Well, at that time, it was a 0351, and I don't even think the Marine Corps has that anymore, to be honest with you.
No.
Is that the assaultman?
It was, yes.
Yeah. I think they got rid of that in like the early teens, right, Jeff? Something like 2013, somewhere in there.
I think maybe they like stopped making new ones. I remember Lima Company 3-1. We had a couple, but like they were kind of like, what am I going to do now? I'm not an OS anymore.
Become a first sergeant.
Yeah.
So I guess tell us a little bit about, it's we all went the officer route. As did your son, right? And it's you're not much older, but I feel like there's a lot of transformation that happens between, 18 and 22. And then I joined kind of 2 years late. So I joined when I was 24. Jeff, you were 26.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And Trey went directly out of Texas A&M. Were you 22 when you commissioned, Trey, or 23?
How old were you?
I think I was 24. Yeah, I was 24.
I think I was 20. I'm a month older than you.
Yeah. And you're a year behind me, right? Weren't we? Or no,
correct,
6 months behind me. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I guess tell us a little bit like why you signed up. And I don't know. I'm curious to hear like what we all joined like, during a time of war.
Yeah, right.
And, the late 80s was different. So I'm curious like what took you there and like what your experience was.
Where I grew up.
Ridge. It's got to be it, right? It's at least part of it.
Yeah, well, a lot of it.
I love it.
No, to back up a few years before that, where I grew up, so probably within, I would say, maybe 2 miles bike ride, there was a reserve center, was Navy Marine Corps. And so as a kid, I used to ride my bike to watch the lake freighters come up and down the Maumee River.
Oh, very cool.
And so we would always see the Marines out there drilling. And I guess about the time, I don't know, 4th, 5th grade, I knew that that's what I was going to do. So yeah, after high school, and I'll never forget, my mother was like, don't sign anything. Don't say, well, it was already made up in my mind. Right. So yeah. So I think it was my senior year of high school. I did, I don't know if it still existed, delayed entry program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's still a thing. Yeah.
So, and again, being that we mapped out of Detroit, so they'd bus us, take a van up to Lincoln Park High School, and the gymnasium, or in the basement of it, was a dirt floor, and they had all the kids from Detroit and Toledo, and they kind of run us through, like a weekend boot camp type thing. And it's the first time I ever heard a woman talk like that. Was a female. Yeah, it was really an eye opener. So yeah, then like I said, 4 days after I graduated high school, I was in San Diego, and I was pretty well prepared. My best friend's father, he was a Marine, and so I knew my facing movements, manual arms with the rifle. So boot camp wasn't too much of a challenge. Then I shipped over to the East Coast, Camp Geiger for SOI. And then I was attached to or assigned 1st Battalion, 2nd Marines. And in those days, when you went over there, they sent you to regiment first. Then you left the regiment, or somebody from the battalion came over and picked you up. So I had the honor of meeting Colonel Ripley. He introduced himself to everybody who came in. Right. I mean, yeah, as a Marine's Marine. And I'll never forget the clerk. He told us, there's 5 or 6 of us, and he told us, go out there in the parking lot. We're in our alphas. Says, stand at the position of attention, and somebody from your unit will come and get you. Well, we're standing out there,
Oh, God.
Yeah, right.
Hours.
Right. So I end up with 1-2. And my first roommate was a guy who played football at the University of Dayton. He was an offensive lineman. He was a bigger guy, so the height and weight thing was really a big thing at that time. And they were transitioning him out. So, and we had and my son will tell you this, company gunnies. There's 2 people in my life that wherever they are, I hope they're miserable. And Gunny Jones is one of them. So my roommate at the time, a fellow Mike Thompson, we're still friends today. So Gunny Jones, and I think Reveille went about 5:30 at that time, but he was always beating on our doors in the barracks. So before Reveille, and you could hear him coming down door after door, boom, 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 boom. So, and this went on for about a month. And my roommate, Mike, who was getting out or being separated, says, pardon my language. He says,
oh, you're good.
He says, I'm going to show him my ass when he gets to our room. Well, that's exactly what he did. So there was this collective pause. So that kind of had me marked the rest of the time Gunny Jones was in Charlie Company. So
so you were Charlie Company.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So every working party I found myself on.
Yeah, well, that's how that works.
Yeah, in those days they had tent pins in supply, and we're over there counting Connex boxes of tent pins.
Well, I think in those days it's kind of like these days. I can't tell you how many times last year I found myself, it's the humidity's not me, my buddy, but my buddy's over there deployed, and the humidity's 120%. And I remember counting radios one day, and I pour the XOs next to me, and I'm holding this 6-part red folder with a bunch of numbers, and I'm just soaking it with sweat while, some poor Lance Corporal's like, prick 153, Echo, Foxtrot. And I'm like, what are we doing? But anyway, okay. And then so you get to 2-1 and you did a deployment, right?
Yeah, 1-2.
Or 1-2.
So yeah.
1-2. Yeah.
Shortly after, just after the first of the year, I believe. And we went to Okinawa Camp Schwab.
Okay.
At that time. So in those days, it was a 6-month deployment. Came back stateside. Typical training cycle. But to back up, I discovered the way to get out of working parties at that time. The Marine Corps had 8-man, 80 yards football.
Oh.
So I played the season of that, and I will tell you, that was some of the most brutal football I've ever played in my life.
I've never heard of 8-man, 80 yard.
Yeah, there were no punts and no kickoffs.
Okay.
There was a lieutenant who played, I believe, the University of Delaware.
Okay.
And, my high school experience, it was, you wrapped up when you tackled. Well, nobody wraps anymore. And he's the reason why. I mean, he hit you between the numbers and he decleated you. So you always paid attention to where he was on the field. So, yeah, they've come back and, we were supposed to be a cold weather battalion. So we did the Bridgeport thing.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Good to look back on and say, yeah, I did that.
I haven't done it. Jeff,
fun when you were
Jeff,
doing it.
you did Bridgeport, right?
I haven't done Bridgeport. No,
you haven't done Bridgeport. Yeah, we're not Bridgeport guys. We're Camp Pendleton, sunshine and surfboards. I wish I had when I was in my 20s.
Same.
I hope I don't get sent now. Anyway, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, no, that was not a great place to be. So again, because of the working party thing, I got tasked with. So back then, the Marine Corps had a Chevy pickup. It was called a Cuck V.
Okay.
And so Gunny Jones volunteered me to drive a general. And I want to say his name was Jenkins. He was a 1-star at the time, and I believe he retired as a 2-star. And he used to be stationed there, and he wanted to go up the mountain. And we got up so far, and it said, no pneumatic tires beyond this point. Then it became all tracked vehicles.
I got to stop you for a little truck talk. What kind of truck we talking? Is this like a 1500? So it's 1988, 1989. Is this like, what are we talking here?
Yeah, it was your basic 1500.
Okay.
4-wheel drive.
Okay, nice. Extended cab?
No. And actually,
single cab.
Yeah, it had 2 rails in the bed. So there were, there's some colonels and majors in the back, along with, his party.
I love that.
Yeah, you're right. And so we get up there, and I kind of point out to the general, and he says, no, just keep going. So we keep going. And then this tracked vehicle pulls up in front of us. And I believe it was a staff sergeant. And I mean, he gets out, and he's reaming me for being up there. And I'm like, Staff Sergeant. He's like, you shut your damn mouth, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Staff Sergeant. So Jenkins or Jennings, forgive me, he steps out from the other side of the vehicle and he says, is there a problem? And the Staff Sergeant goes, you bet your ass there's a problem. Then he saw the stars. Well, that changed.
That changes everything.
Yeah, it sure did. So Bridgeport was good. We got a 96 in Reno and Tahoe.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Then at some point back through that, up to Fort McCoy, Wisconsin, which is the coldest place on earth. Horrible. And then shortly after that, Desert Storm. So we went from cold weather battalion to desert camis.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was on ship 9 months. I think we left in August and we came back in March. Spent a lot of time Saudi Arabia in the desert, and we kept coming. Oh, also Operation Eastern Exit. If you guys are familiar with that,
I'm not. I should be. I'm embarrassed.
Okay.
I'm not. But I'm not.
Yeah, there was an uprising in Somalia, Mogadishu. So the foreign nationals evacuated back to the American embassy, and we went in there and got them out.
Okay. So you did two kind of, I'm sorry, Trey, I'll kick it to you next, but you did kind of 2 in 4 years plus one in the reserves, which we won't talk about. You did 2 deployments, so to speak.
Yeah, actually I did 3 shortly after we came back. Because at that time they activated the reserves. So there was a reserve unit in Okinawa, and we relieved them, but we only had to go 4 months.
Okay. Wow.
So then we went to Camp Hansen. So Schwab to Hansen's like night and day. For a married guy, older guy, Schwab was beautiful. You're surrounded by water. Hansen, you actually had to walk over to it.
Hansen feels like prison. What were you going to ask him, Trey?
I would say that Somalia deployment, was that right after the Black Hawk Down?
Actually, before.
Okay, so it was right before. Okay.
Yeah, the Marines turned it over to the Army, and then the Army
to the Army. Okay. I'm trying.
Yeah, and somewhere I have a letter of whatever signed from all the foreign dignitaries who we went in and got out with their families. Okay. And actually, there was a woman who gave birth. I was on the Guam. And so, they brought her back on. She 9 months pregnant, whatever. So we had a baby while we were on board. Where we go from there?
Yes. Well, what's funny? I want to pause you for a second. Well, what's funny to me, and it's, this is, almost 40 years ago, right? But it's like you go on these 3 deployments, you spend time on Schwab, Hansen, Somalia, Saudi Arabia, and then it's like, but one thing you said was like, but we got a 96 in Tahoe. And, right. And that cracks me up because it's like the deployment, I got to say, my buddy, you're a listener to the podcast. That's what we do. But my buddy's deployment last year, I'll text your son and I'll be like, man, what I would do to be in Sydney right now. And it's like, you spend 7 years or 7 months traveling the globe and you get 2 days of freedom in Sydney and Australia. And you're like, oh, that was amazing. Go back anytime. And it's, I don't know. It's kind of funny how we are as Marines. Cause you go to Bridgeport, you drive the general, you get your ass chewed by the staff. So you go through all that stuff. You're like, oh, but we got 96 in Tahoe.
Yeah, so Tahoe was great, beautiful. Reno, same thing. And let's see, where were we going with this one?
So then you got out.
Actually, and my unit was getting ready again. They were gonna do South America, and so I didn't have enough time, and so they sent me over to combat engineers to do the rest of my time. And combat engineers, they sent me to the infamous forklift driving school.
There you go.
and it was all short timers like myself.
Yeah.
And the troop handler was a guy from, at that time, Force Recon. I think it's MARSOC today.
Well, Recon actually still exists, but some of that mission did go to Jeff, I think, knows a little bit more than me, but wouldn't you say that some of Force Recon's mission went to MARSOC? It's kind of weird. MARSOC exploded and then they shrunk it back down.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's irrelevant.
Yeah. So they sent us over to a forklift driving school, and when nobody wanted to be there, obviously. It was maybe 2-3 weeks long, and I learned more about forklifts than I ever dreamed to know. But it was called Marine on-the-job training, so when we fell out, we'd have to about face and yell Mojets. Well, yeah.
You can't make it up.
No, you can't. You can't. I mean, and you know, again, nobody wanted to be there, so we didn't sound off loud enough, and well, repercussions for that. Yeah.
Yeah. More working parties.
Yeah. Then my son was born, and yeah, you know, I think I had about 2 months left when Troy was born.
Okay.
And his mom and I, you know, we decided that, yeah, we weren't going to raise a kid on a military base. Certainly not in, you know, junior enlisted. I think at that time I was, you know, a corporal, maybe a year time in grade, and I picked up sergeant in the reserves. So yeah, no, it wasn't, you know, I don't know if it's still this way. And I asked Troy, but he really didn't say or not. But at that time we had a base newspaper. It was called The Globe, I believe.
Okay.
And if you looked at the back page, you saw all the convictions. It's like, wow, man. Wow. Yeah. The Marine Corps got them too. I mean, it was.
Yeah, we probably got more of them. You know, I'll say one bit on that, and then we want to get you into sports mode, and we want to talk hockey and stuff. But okay. No, I you know, you probably made you know, I don't know how to phrase it. What I've said this year after last year was I personally have a new layer of respect for people on active duty that not only move over and over with their families, but also leave them. Because, you know, folks have asked me like, how was the deployment? How'd it go? What was the hardest part? You know, it's like a normal civilian question. I'm like, the hardest part was being away from my wife and kid for 7 months. Like that was
for sure
100% the hardest part. And there's people that do it. I got a lot of friends, you know, that are lieutenant colonels now that have done it and have multiple kids. They got great families, you know, God-fearing families, and they make it work. But man, I have a new level of appreciation of the sacrifice that people, you know, go through that do that. And I don't say that to sound like corny, but it's like when you live it, you're like, oh man, this is a thing, you know, that people do. You know, Jeff and I, and Trey, but Jeff and I hit the fleet, and it was like, you know, hey, you're going on this deployment, you're going on that deployment. And it's like, Jeff's like, here, will you watch my car? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then he deploys, or then I deploy. I'm like, hey, Jeff, will you watch my car? And that's the only thing you think about. It's like, hey, watch my car. Like I put all my stuff in storage, like just watch my car. And then when you leave a family, you're like, oh man. So anyway, people do it and do it well. But I also like, you know, respect your decision of like, hey, I gotta take care of my kid here. Cause that's a real big thing. Well, yeah.
Actually, I think I cried the day I drove off Camp Lejeune, knowing that part of my life was going to be over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, I love the area down there. I really did.
Yeah. The low country.
Yeah, exactly. Outside of Jacksonville, there wasn't, you know, you've been, you know.
Let me clarify. Yeah. I did not like Jacksonville, but everywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause you know, my peer group was college, my buddies. So we would go over to East Carolina, which got us away from Jacksonville. You know, we hung out.
One of the biggest party schools in the South.
Yeah. I learned how to shag and a bar. Well, yeah. It's a dance. That's a dance.
I'm going to defend. I'm going to defend you here. Jeff knows he's a Southern boy.
Okay.
We're from the South. No, I when I moved to California, so I had an uncle. I have an uncle. He's still alive. My mom's brother. She grew up in Timmonsville, South Carolina, and he is in like this. He's like, there's like some kind of hierarchy in the shag world of like South Carolina dancing in North Carolina and the Carolina. There's like a Carolina shag, whatever, and he's like high up in it. And I moved to California in 2012. And if you said like, oh yeah, you want to go shagging? people are like, what? And it's like, no, it's like a kind of like a swing dance, but different. Yeah, no, that's a useful dance. That's a good one to have.
I'm glad y'all clarified that. I thought it was like an Austin
Yeah,
Powers
well, right.
reference.
It's a lot of foot movement. I assure you that.
Yeah.
The feet are moving nonstop.
Yeah, Trey, in Texas, I think you guys just call that the two-step.
Yeah, it's just two-step.
Yeah, it's just two-step. So for these guys, big hockey fan over here, and we talk a lot of sports on the podcast, as you know. Football's over. I'm a hockey fan. You know, I got the Northeast blood in me from my dad, and so I like the team. You hate the Bruins, but you're like really dialed into hockey. Let's talk a little like Olympics hockey right now because it's live and it's current. What is the final game tomorrow?
No, we go into this. I think they start the semifinals tomorrow.
Okay, semifinals. Okay,
right. So, I mean, ultimately, we should end up playing Canada.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought that your son said something about Switzerland, but is that for the semis?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has that been determined?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm a reservist and I fly tomorrow to New Jersey to do Marine stuff for 5 days. So I've actually been, I haven't been as sports focused as I'd like to be in the last 48 hours. But yeah, I think there's Jeff, is there a game tomorrow?
Got USA versus Sweden.
Oh, Sweden. That's what I meant. Yeah.
This will be 1:10 p.m. my time. So that's Mountain time.
Whatever. Zulu time. Yeah, we get it.
Okay, so yeah, probably 3:30 here then.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect much from the Swedes.
Okay. And then Canada, do you expect much?
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
Okay.
My son and I, we like to talk sports and argue about sports.
Yeah.
However, we do agree that I believe Connor McDavid might be, one of the best that I've certainly ever seen. Again, the game has changed a lot. I think the goaltenders are much more athletic than years ago.
Okay.
But, again, as my son likes to say, the guys that played in my day couldn't play today, which I find that to be absolutely ridiculous because my son has never played a game with a red line. Okay. So 2-line pass. So as I always go back to this, the Edmonton Oilers, probably in my lifetime, the Wayne Gretzky Edmonton Oilers, probably the best team ever assembled. And if that team played without a red line, they would run it up on everybody today.
Oh,
they were that fast. They were that good. Yeah.
And did you play?
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
club or like, this is your chance. You're what, 61?
What's that?
How old are you? 61, 62?
No.
57.
Yes.
57. You told me. Sorry. I got to tell you, Troy, sir, senior, there's a lot of folks in your demo that listen to the podcast, which I find hilarious. We thought like, hey, we'll talk about lifting and we'll expand it, and talk about fishing and hunting and whatever.
Right.
But there's a lot of folks like that. So sorry, 61 was on the brain. 57. You're a young man still. But this is your chance to like, tell us like your top of your game, like what you did.
Well, so growing up here, a lot of tributaries into the lake. So everybody had a pond. Nobody had any money, right? So
sure.
you always went garage sailing in the summer to get old hockey equipment.
Nice.
So everybody played, obviously. And if we weren't on the ice and we were in the street, like Wayne's World hockey, game on, game off as the cars were coming. So yeah, about high school is when it really took off. And now again, my son and I, we go back and forth about this a lot. I think players of my era were much more physical than today. And if not, then use the great equalizers, a lot of stick work and elbows and things like that. But growing up here, and people find this kind of ironic is Troy and I are Toronto Maple Leaf fans.
Yeah, I do find that ironic.
Okay.
Yeah. So here in this area, you had Channel 50 out of Detroit, which broadcasts the Red Wings. You had Channel 9 out of Windsor, and they broadcast the Leaf games. So every Saturday night, it was the thing, to turn on the Leafs. So we, long-suffering Leafs fan, a lot to Boston, but. So, yeah, then to back up, so when I got out of the Marine Corps, my best friend, he was a naval officer, and we grew up together from the time about fourth grade, grade school, high school, blah, blah, blah. He was transitioning out of the Navy. He was going to law school. So I had just gotten divorced from Troy's mom, and he was living in Colorado, moved out here, went to law school in Columbus. And it was Friday mornings, we used to play kind of like a drop-in against the varsity players from Ohio State who didn't dress that weekend. And we were out there, we're playing it. It was pretty fast, pretty high caliber hockey. And then we got invited to go out and play an exhibition or a scrimmage, I guess, for lack of a better term, against the women's club team. Yeah.
Oh, I'm wondering where this is going.
Yeah,
This sounds like 2026 to me.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. So we went out and played them. You dial it down, but some of them girls are pretty rugged, and they had come up and asked us, "Would you have any interest in coaching the women's team?" And well, no, but does it pay?
Yeah, does it pay?
Good question.
So yeah, it paid, not well, but so we did that for 3 years. He was going through law school, and I was working, and it was a lot of fun. Traveled all over the country with that, and then they rolled out varsity, and so that they weren't going to hire a male coach at that time. They went with a female coach, but it was a wonderful experience. Like I said, we got to travel all over, a lot of bus trips. And my son, Troy, actually, he would come out with the practices, so he got a lot of ice time there.
Nice.
Time on the ice. It's like for surfers, time on the water.
Yeah, right.
That's how you get better.
So,
go ahead.
Well,
No, go ahead.
Where I live, we have a 5-acre pond. And when that freezes over, we'll still go out. And, and you'll know this, gentlemen, when you have children, it's a very sad day when they exceed where you are.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
He's better than I am now, which I think he's still playing maybe in Palm Springs.
I don't know. We, for the deployment, you're just in such a different mindset. Sure. It's like you're talking about leadership. Now it's like, I feel like, you start to, you learn people in a real weird way on deployment because you live with them every day. But then when you come back and people start to like re-get into society, you start to realize like the other side, I have no idea if he's still playing. I'll tell you this, any games that were going in 1-7, whether it was, first sergeant, CO, PME or whatever it was, you wanted to get Troy Campbell II on your team, right? You're like, are we playing softball? Are we bowling? Are we doing volleyball? Like, you want to, I'll tell you one thing, and then we want to transition and we want to let these guys ask you some questions, maybe talk about lifting. We like to talk about lifting on this podcast. But, I went bowling with Troy after the Super Bowl. We talked about it on last week's podcast. And I think I bowled like, 130, 140, 150. Yeah, we only had a few games. And I said something to him that night. My buddy Connor was there with me, and I said, so your dad, because Troy just bowls a 200 plus out of the gates. And I said, so your dad, like, is he a good bowler?
No.
And I think you'll like this because of where I go with it. He goes, he's the kind of guy that'll come in throw the ball super hard, knock down a bunch of pins, and like you can always bet that he bowls a 130, but he's never going to break through. And I thought,
no.
I thought, Troy, you just described me. And, and I always thought a 200 was a possibility.
If he said 130, no, I don't think I've ever. But okay, mind you, okay, while you were in Okinawa, he was hustling you. My wife, she bowled in college.
Yeah.
So he was texting her, getting hints, move over 2 boards, nose or thumb to the nose,
thumb to the nose.
Right. So when I go bowling with my wife, she likes to coach me, and I don't like to be coached.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like to be coached, which is probably a good transition. You listen to this pod. I don't know how you found it, but you're 57. You're a lineman. Are you still, you're a former athlete, clearly. Are you lifting these days? Or are you like when we go into diatribes about lifting, is that interesting to you? Or
absolutely.
What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I, pardon my ignorance, because I really haven't wrapped my head around, so I off and on, I've been lifting for probably 45 years, right?
Sure.
I'm probably never doing it right, to be honest with you. So with the starting strength, do I understand? Like, okay, so we're benching, deadlift, squat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're squatting. So in like simple terms for the new person, starting strength is 4 movements broken down into 2 workouts. Workout A, we call it, is squat, 3 sets of 5, press 3 sets of 5, deadlift 1 set of 5. Workout B, which you would do it at least 2 days later with at least 1 day of rest.
Okay.
You would squat again 3 sets of 5, but more weight. You would bench press 3 sets of 5, and then you would deadlift 1 set of 5. And you would alternate workouts A and B. Essentially, we say 3 days a week because we live in a 7-day week and it just kind of works well. But like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So Monday you would go A, Wednesday B, Friday A, and the following week you would go B, A, B, right? But you would just alternate. So the only thing that changes is the press and the bench press. And you essentially do that for as long as you can until you can stop adding weight to the bar. So the goal is like, hey, these 4 lifts are lifts that use the most muscle mass. I'm going to do these 4 lifts 3 times a week, and I'm just going to add a little bit of weight each time until that doesn't work. And then after that doesn't work, there's like a world of options you can go into, but kind of our bread and butter, and especially like how we kind of take that in the Strength Co. is like, hey, we want to get you to like goal number 1, squat your body weight for 5. Deadlift your body weight for 5. But it's like, hey, if I can walk in and do these 4 movements and every time I do it, I can add weight, I'm not going to change anything. No variables added until that stops working. And then once that stops working, and it depends, like, is the person 80 or is the person 18? If they're 18 and drinking a bunch of milk and, sleeping 10 hours a night, that might work for 4 months. If they're 40 and at like peak of their career and really busy and don't sleep and have kids, that might work 4 weeks. But it's like, hey, let's get these easy, we call them novice gains. Like, let's get those before we move on.
So we're starting heavy and we're going heavier.
Yeah, starting heavy is a relative term, and I'll let Trey speak on it a little bit because he's kind of started it a few times. But the real answer is day 1, like if I were to train you tomorrow, I don't actually care what the number is, right? I'm going to do a couple things that you're not used to. I'm going to put the bar in the low bar position. I'm going to adjust your hands a little bit different than you probably would naturally do it. I'm going to make you shove your butt back and lean over into the squat because that uses more posterior chain. How I describe these lifts, so these are coached lifts. You wouldn't walk into the gym and do them the way that I'm going to teach you to do them. But on day 1, you're going to be listening to me or whatever coach you got that's like, shove your butt back, shove your knees out, lean over more, drive your hips up. And I actually can't go super heavy because you have to like process the commands for the movement. You know this. You coached hockey. It's like I can't, like I gotta dial things down early on to make people understand what it is we're doing. But it will be difficult, right? So basically day one, it's like as heavy as you can comprehend. And what I often tell people is I'll tell them on day one, I just said this last Saturday. I said, right now you are stronger than you are good. And I'm a homeschool South Carolina boy, so I know that sounds like dumb English, but it like means a lot. Like you're actually capable of lifting more weight, but your skill level's super low. Mm-hmm. And so like I'm going to bring your skill level up fast, but I got to actually bring down what you're capable of to like find a medium where like you're 90% right. You're doing the lift 90% right. And that means that we took weight off the bar. So yeah.
Okay.
And then we go heavier each time.
Okay.
But in small increments.
So, when years ago, and I guess even today is, I would do a warm-up set of 135.
Yep.
185, 205, 225. Okay. Flirt with 315, at the end. So we're saying we're starting somewhere, we'll say 200 pounds. We're doing 3 sets of 5. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. In that scenario, I assume you're talking about the squat when you say those numbers.
Bench press.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we're basically finding what we can do for 3 sets of 5.
Okay.
In the bench press specifically, like where your elbows aren't flaring, right? Like you're keeping scapular retraction in the bottom. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. I think a lot of folks try to make it perfect, and so then they don't go up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be it needs to be good. And so, yeah, we wouldn't do what you're saying. So we would say, hey, Troy can do 220 for 3 sets of 5 clean. Yeah. Well, then everything before that, like the warm up where you're like, I'm going to do 135, 185, 205. I don't actually care about that. I do want to get you warmed up to be ready for 220.
Right.
But I want to do it in a way that doesn't wear you out. So I might have you do the bar for 2 sets of 5 and then like 95 for a set of 5 and then 135 for 3. And your math is kind of correct, but then 185 for 2 and 205 for 1, because I want to get the brain ready for what 220 is going to feel like, but I don't want to exhaust you on the way there, because the goal is to lift 3 sets of 5 that I haven't lifted before.
And how much time between sets?
3 to 5 minutes is what we say. If you're new and the skill level's not high, 3's plenty. Once you get good, I mean, like if I go into the gym and I'm going to squat, I don't know, 365 for 3 sets of 5, I need 5 minutes in between or I'm going to miss. I mean, it's like the reason we got a 4th line, right? It's like, hey, the hockey players go out there and they get gassed. Could they keep playing hockey? Yes, but they're going to be exhausted. So we're going to pull them off and put the 2nd line in. Obviously there's other strategies in hockey that you know better than I, but part of the reason is like the guys get gassed. And so it's like, if the weight's actually heavy on any of the lifts you're doing, squat, press, bench, deadlift, if I'm going to do it again, I need to rest an adequate amount of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Squatting. I'm always kind of apprehensive because I've had a couple issues with my back, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. When you have to wipe from the front because you're throwing your back out. Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah. Right. So and I don't ever want to go there again.
Nope.
Trey, what would you say? You're like, Troy, I like to kick to these guys because I sell plates and coaching for a living, but like they're just normal consumers. What would you say about like squats and being nervous about your back?
I would say just like before you start, I feel like that a lot of people have that same concern. So I feel like you're not alone in that for sure. But I would say the main thing, once you get the form down and you start feeling comfortable adding weight, every time I've gotten heavy on the squat, I've always noticed that like I feel better in general, like my quality of life. So that kind of fear kind of goes away. So I think that's a reasonable fear to have, but I feel like the more you do it, the more comfortable you feel, the better that fear tends to like, it goes to the back of your mind. You're not really worried about it. So,
okay.
Yeah. And a back pain guy, if you came into my gym and we're like, I'm concerned about the back, like we're not, everyone sees power lifters. They see the extremes on the internet. And it's like, hey, I mean, my dad's, he's much older than you. He's 69. And when he's been lifting for 7 years now, and he had just had a knee replacement when he started.
Oh, wow.
And and he told me, he said, I can't bend my knee past parallel. And he was out here visiting. I was like, well, you got to come into the gym. Like, I own this business. You need to support it. And he was like, oh, okay, fair. So they came in and of course his knee bent past parallel. Right. And he was able to squat to depth, but we just did the empty bar. And I think that day, maybe we did like 70 pounds and he could have done more that day, but there's an element of coaching where it's like, hey, I could go heavier, but I want to build confidence. Right. And this is a thing where, that comes with experience. And so like, I think we squatted 70 pounds for 3 sets of 5.
Okay.
I have no doubt he could have done 135 pounds that day, but I wanted him to feel confident. So we kind of like scaled it back. He's worried about his new knee. He's worried about his back, right? He's 62 at the time. And then it's just like, hey, we're going to go up 5 pounds. When you hear 70 pounds and hear up 5 pounds, you don't get scared. But if you think about it, it's like, well, that's 15 pounds a week. So that's 60 pounds a month. So like if he actually does this, which most people don't, like he's going to be at 135 in 1 month's time, right? One month and one more workout, he's going to go from 70 to 135. And so for folks that have injuries are real, right? Way better than me. The older I get, the more cautious I am to tell folks older than me about stuff, because like I'll be 38 this year and I'm like, whoa, stuff feels different. But what I'll tell you is there's a 90.
Wait till you're 57.
I can only imagine. But what I'll tell you, Troy, is there's a 92-year-old lady that was in my gym yesterday deadlifting, right?
God
like
bless her.
Yeah, seriously.
That's awesome.
So there's a progression you can go through. And that's the key, is to find something that's pain-free where you have confidence and slowly build from there. Yeah. And if you're 18, I'm going to like turn the dial and I'm going to make you uncomfortable, just like you do with your athletes coaching hockey. Because you're going to learn a lot. For you, you've already learned a lot, but like, I need to make you feel comfortable in terms of like, hey, I can do this weight, and then slowly add. And then, it just builds over time.
Well, I'm not going to lie, man. I got a lot of miles, and they're not highway miles. Those are city miles.
There you go.
Knees, shoulders. Hey,
doing all that shagging.
All that shagging, man. It wears you out.
No, it's 29 years of line work. And that's hard. That so the commitment, because these are non-traditional hours, right? Somebody hits a pole at 2:00 in the morning, somebody's got to come in and fix that pole. Okay, so in a storm situation, we work 16 hours on, 8 hours off. So with 40-minute drive home, shower, blah blah blah, you're looking at, on a good night, 5 hours sleep.
Oh yeah.
So it's tough to fit that in. We do have a fitness center at work, Smith machine. So yeah, it's possible. It's just getting into a steady rhythm to, my wife, God bless her, we'll be out to dinner and the phone rings. You're on call, you got to go. Right.
I mean, here you are podcasting nearly at midnight just to talk to
exactly.
Yeah. So no, I get it. No,
we got a nice storm going on up north again, so I may be up there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Guys, what before we take him through the standard protocols of OK Podcast guests, we want to respect his time, keep him at an hour. You guys got any? I don't know. You got Midwest questions, you got hockey questions, you got we'll kick it to Jeff and then over to Trey. Anything you want to give Troy Sr. before we give him the?
Can I ask a question real quick?
Oh yeah.
So have I made you at least a little bit of a Buckeye at this point?
I told you our fandom's cheap, Troy.
I saw. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, just a little bit, right? So what outside of here? Okay, because now, mind you, we live 40 minutes from Ann Arbor, so there's a lot of Michigan fans here.
Oh yeah,
a lot of Ohio State fans, also a lot of Notre Dame and Michigan State fans. So outside of this region, what is the rub about Ohio State? Overhyped, underproduced?
Oh, I can take this one.
Please.
Yeah, Trey, take it. He's
So
got it.
So going into the Marine Corps, I had no concept of Ohio State fans.
Okay.
Like I never dealt with them, never didn't meet any of them. And then I get into the Marine Corps and there's a ton of Ohio State fans like in the Marine Corps. Individually, the best people. It's the problem is when they start grouping together and it's like, golly, y'all are the most obnoxious. It just yelling but like well deserved. You keep winning, so I guess props to you. That was the beginning of my rub with Ohio State.
But gentlemen,
was when they got grouped together and they would start getting rowdy.
Okay,
and then I would. That's kind of probably where mine started. And then I started rooting against them just to give them crap. You know how it goes.
Okay, I do. Yeah. That's about all we got up in these parts.
Hey Troy, I actually can relate to Trey's rub, but at the same time, he's an Aggie. So like I feel for you there too. Like you put a couple Aggies in the room and like you got the same thing going. I
100% agree.
Okay.
My only rub is winning. And I think the reason it rubs me is because when Lou Holtz came to South Carolina, like I'm a kid and I remember being at the New Mexico State game in 1999. South Carolina beats New Mexico State.
Okay.
And they hadn't won. I think they lost 22 games straight, something like that, 18. Someone fact check me, whatever. They had the whole season before they lost every game when they lost some games, and then they beat New Mexico State and they tore the goalpost down. And Lou Holtz then led us to like 3, 7, or 8 win seasons, which included Outback Bowl wins, 2 of them against Ohio State. And so I always was like, oh, Ohio State's like the Gamecocks. Like we're out here like slugging it out for like 7, 8 wins a year and going to Orlando. And then all of a sudden it was like, bam, Jim Trussell, Ohio State just wins 12 games a year. And I'm like, well, that's not fair. That didn't happen to me. So that's my personal rub.
It's just jealousy. Yeah.
It's just jealousy. Yeah. It's just,
I get it. But believe me, we spent our time in the wilderness too. The John Cooper years. As I say to everyone, I'm not mad that we lost to Air Force in a bowl game. I'm mad that we played Air Force in a bowl game.
That's right. That's a great line. That's great.
That's really good.
I guess the question I had for you,
please.
Speaking of Ohio State, is what's your temperature on Ryan Day? Because I feel like I get a mixed bag with Ohio State fans.
It's hard to argue the wins and losses, right? Obviously, the Michigan thing could be better. I do think we were young last year. But I mean, what you lost the national champions by, what was that, 7 points, and then you lost to Miami by 10. So Ryan Day, I'd take Jim Tressel.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the vibe. It's like he wins a lot, but he doesn't win the right games. That's what it seems like.
Correct.
Yeah.
Do you think it's that, or do you think he's just not very likable? And I would put the same question on me. Like Beamer came in and was super likable, but then he doesn't win, and now he whines a lot. I'm just kind of like I actually, my beef with you is like I don't really enjoy you as a person anymore.
Yeah, I can see that. For me, the whole landscape has changed. And I don't know. It's never going to go back with the money that's involved.
No.
like the pros, I would like to see these kids sign a contract where they at least have to stay, right? I mean, you might know 5 different or fight songs by the time you graduate college.
Yeah, for real.
And doesn't that just sound sad?
It is. It absolutely
is. Like that alone is sad.
Yeah, but I am a big Toledo Rockets fan.
Okay.
And obviously Troy went to Miami, so that they're rivals. But
guys.
Yeah. So I like to think that maybe at that level it's still pure to some degree, but in reality it's not.
Yeah.
Which works out well for Toledo because it seems every year we get an Alabama transfer up here. You get to watch them on Tuesday nights, a little action. So, it's I don't know where it's going, but Ryan Day, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle with him.
Okay. That's kind of the vibe I get from most Ohio State fans.
But, props to you, Texas A&M, Myles Garrett, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're long-suffering Browns fans, too. Well, we did absorb Johnny Manziel, and that was a disaster.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Y'all took him.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
They sold a lot of jerseys, I suppose.
Yeah.
Jeff,
you got any college football stuff before we take him through the ringer?
I didn't have any college football questions. I kind of wanted to kick it back to a Marine question.
Oh yeah, kick it over.
Well, I mean, like 2 of the classic, just moves a new Marine makes. So whether it's enlisted and then officer side too, we weren't immune to this. I saw many a fellow officer make these mistakes. Did you go out right away? Do you got any moto tattoos and these giant eagle globe and anchors?
No.
Did you go get a car with a 25% interest loan, or do you see any buddies kind of fall into those pitfalls?
No, I was pretty grounded. I promised my mother that I would never get a tattoo. I never have. As far as the, like the boot jacket, the red satin with all the places you've been. No, I never did that.
Oh, I don't think that tradition's gone by the wayside.
Let's hear about this. That must be early 90s because we're not doing that anymore.
I'll send you a picture of one of them. Yeah, yes. No, it was red satin. It said U.S. Marines and, like Okinawa,
Schwab.
Wherever
Hansen.
Wherever you flew over, you got a ribbon or whatever, whatever the hell it was. But no, like I said, when I got my feet wet and I knew the Marine Corps, when I wasn't doing Marine things, I didn't want to be around the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's healthy actually.
But, again, I mean, it has defined who I am. I loved the Marine Corps. I loved being a Marine. It's made me the man I am for sure.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you, it was cool. This guy came to the ball in Vegas and it kind of hit me, mainly because you're my buddy's dad, but it's like, you see like the mini medals, right? And it's like, and you did like 4 years plus one of the reserves 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, yep. And it's like, like one of us. And there's a guy I lift with 3 days a week at the gym. He's 61. That's why I called you 61. I'm sorry. His name's Ray, also Catholic, also Marine. And he was 1'7". And I'm going to butcher it. And he's going to make fun of me next Monday. Very close to you. Like maybe he was 86 to 90 or 87 to 91, like right in that time frame. He went to Hansen. You guys might have been there at the same time.
We may have.
But it's like I'm coming back from deployment and I need my 96 Chevy to come up to 29 Palms because, they can't figure out how to pay for rental cars because of a government shutdown and all this crap. And I'm like, man, who can I get to like make a 4-hour drive to 29 Palms to drop off this, crummy truck that I need that's going to be super useful. And I need 2 people because the guy's got to get back. So I'm like, I call my uncle and I call the guy that was 1'7" 40 years ago. And I come back from deployment and there's my truck. Right. And so it is, there's something, we make light heart in the staff brief at the beginning and, we make fun of all the things that are funny, but it's like, there's something, everybody knows what you went through and it's It's a different
Absolutely.
caliber of person. Yeah, it's cool.
Absolutely.
It's very cool.
Yeah, no, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really did. I met some of the best people, and obviously some of the not so best people.
Yeah. You definitely meet some of the worst. Trey, why don't you take him through the ad read?
So you've listened enough to where you've heard one of these ad reads before.
I have, yes.
Okay, so you know
the tax guy. What JW? Is it JW taxes?
Close enough. Yeah.
I'm sorry, my apologies. BW taxes. Yes. For a guy who works a lot. For a guy who works a lot of overtime, trying to figure out no tax on overtime with the big better deal. Good luck with that. BJ can help you, I suppose.
That's the ad read right there. I feel like it's got to
We're
be.
done. We didn't have to feed you anything. You came prepared.
I work a lot of overtime. I need all the help I can get. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. He's a good guy. Better at taxes. That's what we always say.
Right.
Right. Yeah. He's not a Jehovah's Witness, but he might be if he gets some more tax business.
True.
Jeff, I feel like this is going to be easy for you today.
I do too. Okay. All right. You may also
what was
know
the company gun's name? Jones?
Gunny Jones.
Gunny Jones.
But yeah, if I don't know, maybe he ever locked somebody on in the company office or something like that, or banging on doors at 4:30 in the morning. Okay, Marines. Okay, here we go. Get up, rise and shine. So we want to hear your best, whether it was Gunny Jones or if it was you ever as a young corporal or a young sergeant never had to get a Marine's attention, and you just give him a good okay.
You can put context to it, or you can just yell okay. We don't care.
Whatever you want to do.
My wife is sleeping, so I don't want to yell too loud.
Yeah, you got to keep it down. Yeah. Happy wife, happy life.
Oh man, okay. So to back up, is that something the Marine Corps does now? Okay.
Wow. In our version of the Marine Corps,
us three.
It's like something that just it's part of our our
we kind of I think that kind of starts. So we all lived together for a while as lieutenants.
Okay.
And you'd go to work and the gunny would be annoying, or the captain, we're lieutenants or whatever. And it was kind of like, you'd see a roommate leaving without a belt, and you'd be like, okay, I know we wear freaking daggone belts. And it was just like to be funny. like I would never say this, but like, I'm an officer, you're an officer, I got to keep you in line. And so then it just became this thing where we would say like, okay, and then we'd say something.
Okay.
And it doesn't make sense to a lot of folks, but it makes sense to the three of us.
Yeah.
And we've decided to do this 97 times. So therefore the listeners have to deal with it.
I feel it is for sure in the lexicon of the Marine Corps. So
the lexicon.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, gentlemen. So Jeff and Grant, you're both majors, and Trey,
That's
you got out as a captain.
I was awarded captain.
Okay.
Yeah, on my when I was in the IRR. Yeah.
So, I guess for me, what was more enjoyable in your time as lieutenants, or as you climbed in rank?
Lieutenant.
Jeff, take it first. It's a good question.
Ooh, that is a great question. Lieutenant time is obviously, to me, I think that's like the most fun in a lot of ways, because you have a lot of other lieutenants, especially if you're like a battery or a company, right? You're all kind of going through it. You're kind of all figuring out stuff together. And also just pretty formative years like of your life in general.
Sure.
But now as a major, I guess the more to say like that's when I've been like a battery commander, and that's also been to me just like the most worthwhile, like to me the most fulfilling and like impactful time of like my time in the Marine Corps. So a little different, a lot less fun. You don't have as many buddies when you're a battery commander.
Zero buddies.
Kind of 101. So yeah, it's very different. But in a lot of ways, you're like, oh, I can make a lot more stuff happen, and things can be a lot more impactful, and I can pull a lot more levers.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's interesting. That's actually a really good question. Lieutenant time, like we got a group thread where it's like, it's called Tango plus Trey, because we were Tango battery 511 and there's like 8 of us in it.
Okay.
And then we added Trey because he was in the sister battery, but he like lived with us. And like to this day, it's like somebody will have a baby. It'll be a football game. And like that thread will just go off. And it's like, man, what a time. We were all like 25 living in Southern California. Like that was amazing. Right. At the same time, like as a major, like I met your son, who's like a good buddy of mine. And I came back from deployment and I told Diana, I said, like 1,200 people I left with. And I was like, and this is like, these are people that I came back with that are like friends, right? And, I named her. And as we were going to the balls, like when we meet this person, like that's a person you're going to deal with me calling 5 years from now and be like, oh, we got to see how he's doing. But I think Jeff is onto something, and the officer vision's a little different. And the junior and the young Marines don't always know it, but it is super fulfilling being up in the ranks because of your lieutenant times, and you remember the things that they gripe about, and now you can actually influence. And no one thinks you're influencing, right? They just think like Major Broggi treats everyone like crap, right? Like no one actually thinks, but you're like, oh, you have like no idea like how much better, like, we made your lives or whatever the case is. But I don't know. I'd say they're probably equal to me. Lieutenant time was some really formidable years, but yeah, it's interesting.
For me,
I used to think captain was the best, but
okay. Majors were very elusive. If I saw a handful of majors in my entire time we just never saw majors.
Yeah.
Some were generals.
Well, yeah. One time. One time. Al Gray did come speak to us on ship.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
He was pretty cantankerous.
We got to actually let Trey go before we make you say okay and boot you out here. Trey, 4 and out. What would you say? Because you got more civilian time than any of us. Like, as you look back now, we're all the same age. Like, lieutenant time versus, like, I don't know, business relationships you've made. Like, because you do make relationships outside of the Marine Corps that are also phenomenal.
They're not the same. It's like I would say, even I think if I would have stayed in, something about like the second lieutenant time is one, it is formative, like y'all said, but it's nice because like no one expects you to know anything.
Okay.
And so like you can, one, get away with a lot, and then it's just, and you get influence, or like you like meet a lot of people who've like are very influential on you. And so I would probably just go back to that for that reason. I met a lot of staff and COs who I thought were great people who taught me a lot. Majors, captains, kind of the same thing. So a lot on what not to do too. So I don't know. I would probably still say second lieutenant. I think it's just very unique in that aspect.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, and then if you go into business, you meet a lot of great people in like regular business, but I don't know. It's, as you know, Troy, it's like, it's not the same.
No,
far as like,
no, not at all.
It's a different relationship.
Right. When I came out of the Marine Corps and I went to a union shop, I mean, that was an eye opener. You can't do this. You can't do this. Things that we took for granted, go over there and get this. Well, no, you can't do that. That's somebody else's job. And when I started, we were 90% veterans in my shop. Now I'm the only one there.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm always trying to, perpetuate the trade to get those kind of guys in. Because it's kind of like a natural progression, right? That teamwork type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Give us an okay.
Okay.
Oh, pretty. That's the most Midwestern okay we've ever had. That's phenomenal. So
I was going to go with the old hands in the pocket. Okay, so we just want to have our hands in our pockets.
No, that was great. That was great. It sounded like Toledo, Ohio, in language. So we have on this podcast what we like to call D-list celebrities, meaning like they were good at something, just most people have never heard of them. And I mean that as a compliment. But sometimes D-list celebrities want people to like look them up somewhere. So I don't think you're a guy that like wants people to follow him on social media. You don't seem to. But is there anything that you're like, I don't know, I like this charity, or if you're a Marine getting out, you should look up where I work. Is there anything that you would like to turn listeners to that you know, the people that listen, which is my mother, might want to know about?
No, not really.
Okay.
You know, as I've said in the past, if any of you gentlemen know, you know, somebody who might be interested in this line of work, reach out to me and I will do whatever I can to,
Excellent.
you know, put them on that path. Because
I can
honestly,
sell you some hoses.
oh, do you?
That's some non-conductive hoses. I'll sell to you all day.
Oh, no kidding. Who do you work for?
I work for a company called Kiriyama, but they make Piranha hoses.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that hoses are a big part
I'll
of
get
what
with
we
you
do.
offline.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, hold on, sidebars till the end.
Wow, Troy really perked up there. I was like, "Whoa, we sell hoses? We used to be a proper country."
No, hey, I'm getting ready to retire. So, that's a story for another time.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it. We know it's late over there, but I really do appreciate you coming on. If you come to Southern California, you got a free visit to the Strength Co. You're a lifetime member. Anytime you want to come in, you let me know. If I'm anywhere in that cold slop, I'm going to come by and see you. I may be going to Wisconsin in May, so we may have to figure out a meetup.
Okay. And hey, if you guys are back down to the Arnold in a year or two, please.
Yeah, we'll be back.
I will swing down and I'll show you some of the old haunts.
Yeah.
We need to get Troy back on before college football season.
Yeah,
starts.
please do.
Yeah, we'll get you back on. We'll get you. We'll probably do a call-in show week 1 and make guests make the picks of their team's games for the season. So yeah, your voice will be on the podcast again. But sir, appreciate your service, seriously, and also thanks for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate you guys making me a small part of what you're doing. It's been wonderful, really.
Yeah.
And hey, shoot me some addresses, and I will get you guys some treasures from Toledo sent out to you.
You got it. Yeah. That's my job. These guys won't do it, but I'll do it.
Yeah, please do. All right. Hey, God bless you guys.
Hey, see you.
Thanks,
God
It's
bless.
been a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Later. Good dude.
Good dude.
Good
dude. 4
dude.
deployments in 4 years.
So
is
great.
nuts.
That is
oh yeah, and then
insane.
I went on another one, and then I went on. Oh, then we got back, and then we immediately. I was like, "Dang!"
And then I was going to go to the rest of my guys went to South America after we get on, but I didn't.
1-2 was getting
Like,
worked.
jeez.
Dang.
Please.
I love that.
What's their motto? Something about following. More to follow. Others will follow. Others will follow.
You sure?
I know so
make sure you have
little
your
about the
passport
East
ready.
Coast Marine Corps.
Man, I thought he just like went to Hanson one time. I didn't know he went to Japan twice and did ship stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Japan twice.
Good dude.
Somalia, Saudi Arabia. Is that what it is?
Saudi Arabia.
Somalia, Saudi Arabia, tomato.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at the notes here. I'm gonna look at the slide deck, and
we all participated in that. So
you guys were great.
Yeah.
I think we need to talk 2 things. 3 trash here. I'm gonna dictate a little bit. 3 first. Give me your inputs. What do you think we need to talk about?
This is a quick hitter, but I'm pumped for the Johnny Blue Skies, aka Sturgill Simpson album.
Okay, that was on my list of 2. Yeah. What do you think about that? So no streaming.
I'm pumped. I love it.
I could not be more fired up. Are you tracking this, Trey?
no, what's the story?
You're not tracking. Sturgill Simpson's coming out with a new album that will not be allowed to be streamed. It can only be on cassette, CD, or vinyl.
Yeah, only physical media. Which I don't know of any other I'm sure there's probably some other artists that has done this, but to me it seems like a pretty unique move.
I can't think of anybody.
I didn't know people still make cassettes.
Yeah, I know.
I'm fired up. I got a 97 Chevy with a cassette deck.
Oh, dude.
My 97,
Does it work?
Yeah, it does. My 97 in South Carolina has a cassette deck. My 96 in South California has a Bluetooth thing. It still has a CD player. So I'm buy CD for the 97 and a cassette for the 96.
Might as well get all three.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, obviously I'm getting the vinyl. That's a given.
That's a given.
That was dumb.
That's a given.
Yeah, I don't know why I brought that
Trey,
up.
what's wrong with you? What are you from?
I don't know.
What are you from
I'm going to
Texas?
bed.
Yeah, I'm fired up about that. I feel like we should do some X comments.
Let's do it. So they were popping off.
Yeah, I'll go twofold, and I made sure I logged into everything. So first, we'll start with a positive, and then we'll go to the negative.
Okay.
And Jordy, I don't know if you need to. I'm going to share screen for these guys' benefit. Jordy, I don't know if it matters for you. But this one, wow. At the start of the show, I wanted to say it was at 1.2 thousand likes. It's at 3.5 thousand likes now, and 200,000 or 190,000 followers. But this is Corky. She's 92. She's coming to the gym 3 days a week, 5 years now. She drives herself to the gym. She goes heavier some days, but most she just does something. She has kids, grandkids, great grandkids, and gets to interact with them all. And this is true. This is a friend of mine. This is a real person, Corky Rawlings, family friend of mine that I met the day I moved to California or thereabouts. And she's been coming to the gym since 2020. We posted her on our Instagram, the Strength Co., who are powered by this week. And it was a video from 2020 because I dropped weights off to her house. But yeah, she's still lifting. And so that one's been super positive. The comments are super fun. So go to the Strength_Co. and you can look at that.
It's not AI.
Now let's go to the really fun stuff. And it's twofold. I'm wearing this Fountain Valley shirt. So Connor teaches Fountain Valley weightlifting. And he's like, hey, can we make a shirt? He's like, I found this old school logo and I'd like, can you guys see me right now or just see the screen?
I see you.
Yeah. Sorry. It's weird the way it looks for me. He's like, I found the old logo of this Baron guy. He's like, it's from like the 80s. And I want to make him squatting. And he's like, put on a shirt. So he sends me this logo. And if you look at this logo, and I don't know what you guys can see because I'm sharing screen, but if you look at it from an angle, it kind of looks like 3 plates. He sent me the logo, right? I was like, yeah, I can make the shirt. He's like, I want this made in USA, the squat tee, whatever color yellow this is. So I'm like, yeah, I'll make the shirt. And he's like, I need these sizes for all my kids. So I tweet, and I'm going to pull it up now. I've been kind of like on my game back on the X. And one of the things I do is I'll like talk about business in order to get business, right? So like the point of this tweet was like, hey, by the way, I also own this company that makes t-shirts for small businesses, right? That's the message. So I take the photo of the shirt and I say, local high school hired my t-shirt company for the lifting club. They wanted their mascot squatting 315. Obviously we worked in some made in USA plates. And the point was like, I own the Strength Co. We can also make t-shirts. And the comments are just like, homie got to put up more plates than that. Hashtag prowess plate, man. That's a good one. How do I get in contact with you about shorts? Good. Looks like shit, and that's not 315. Okay. And then some people, they should sell them as a fundraiser, you know. Is this going to go on? Can Jim Pop buy them? Why didn't you make it 315? And I've also gotten DMs of like, it's not 315, it's 225. And I'm like, you guys are missing the point. So that's thing one. And thing two, which is really random. And I actually might mass produce this shirt if people can just walk around in Fountain Valley High School shirts. But I had another good one.
I'd wear one.
That people really didn't like.
If it was 315 out.
Yeah, no, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, if it was
315.
Good point,
Yeah.
Trey.
I'm scrolling here. Oh, now I can't remember which one it was. See how unprepared I am without you guys when you guys don't.
That's not 315.
Yeah, I can't find it now.
I
I
love
don't
it.
know.
This lady needs her own social media.
There was another one with a lot of hate. Oh, here it is. Here it is. All right. So I do an intro to barbells. We call it the Strength Co Costa Mesa, where new people come in and we teach them how to lift. And so I make this video of me teaching this woman how to deadlift. And I just put 62-year-old Hannah on her first day in the gym. Her and her husband came in today at the encouragement of their son, which is true. Here she is deadlifting 62 pounds by 5. Never deadlifted before in her life. Also true. She's not 62. It's not her first day in the gym. And you're not the kind of trainer who should be working with novice trainees. I've seen lots of these guys like you trying to insert yourselves into sports as, quote, strength and conditioning coaches, and never would allow near my trainees. Why is she deadlifting anything on her first day in the gym? Wow. I said, why not? Seems like she should be doing the elliptical and super lightweight for a few days and not any weightlifting. But hey, what do I know? Me, not much. We work with the most detrained all the time. Elliptical's a waste of time. She's not here to get sweaty. She's here to get strong. Get your muscles moving and condition a little bit before tearing them down is what I'm talking about. Hey, sounds like you know more than me, so you do you. And then it just kept going on. Everyone kept replying. Was her back sore the next day? Incredible work. 62-year-old woman deadlifting her own weight and great technique on first attempt. Shocks. It's a good one. Yeah, there was a lot of first day my ass. There was a lot of positives, but 62 my ass. Hate to break it to you guys, but it's all true. But I think that why that mind boggled me, and we'll get off of X, and I got to learn how to stop sharing screen, is like, okay, for a 62-year-old woman, I don't know it's impressive. Maybe 135 is impressive, but it was like literally a 10-kilogram bar with 10s on each side. Plus 5 pounds, 10 bumpers and 5 pounds. Like, you guys are acting like I made her deadlift 300 and fail and pop her spine. Like, yeah. I'm not like 62-year-old woman deadlifts 300 pounds. It's like, brother, are you scared of deadlifting 62 pounds? Like, that is literally, and I hate when everyone's like, oh, you need to lift weights so you can carry in the groceries. I mean, I like it. Like that's good, but it's like, 62 pounds is essentially the groceries. Like, it's not like anything crazy.
Right? Oh my God.
Anyway, the internet. I love it. It's good. Corky's trending. Go like Corky on the Strength Co X, which we were supposed to be live on today, and I don't think it worked. Thanks for nothing, Jordy. Make a Duncan go across the screen.
But we're live somewhere. Somewhere.
We're live somewhere. There's one person watching. I think it's me.
You should make a shirt of Corky Squad 315.
I should. This is a good shirt, by the way. Fountain Valley Barons.
I like it.
Good shirt. Yeah, I'm actually a big fan. I'll see if Connor will give you guys a couple. Limited run, limited edition.
Ooh.
Any save rounds before we take this thing down for a landing?
I got one.
Ooh, yes.
Big curling guy. So when you put that curling topic in there, what's the controversy?
You didn't see this?
You're not aware.
Canada versus Sweden.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
Sweden called out Canada for like double touching. So like, let's go the stone, the Canadian guy, and then like kind of like follows it with his finger and like definitely touches it. And the guy's like, "Hey, you can't do that." And he's like, "I didn't do it." And he's like, "You definitely did. You can't do that." And then they get into the shouting match.
Pretty good.
Pretty funny. It's pretty.
Massonomics made a great meme of it.
Yeah, they did do
it. Yeah, that was a great meme. Good job, Massonomics. Potential sponsor.
Apparently, the tradition is in curling, the losing team has to buy the winning team a beer.
I like that.
Do you know that?
Hurling or curling?
Curling.
Okay, hurling's also a sport that BW Tax does, like BW himself.
Like,
it's an Irish
sport. Is that where you throw stuff over, like really high?
You have like a wooden, kind of looks like a hockey stick.
Yeah, almost like a field hockey stick, kind of, right?
Yeah, field hockey stick, and Yeah, it's kind of like field hockey, but Irish. BW's gonna be so mad.
BW does this or JW does this?
Well, I wanted to correct him, but it was almost better that he called him JW.
I love it.
Because, I mean, I hope it works out for the Google SEO. If you Google JW, let me look. If you Google JW Tax LLC,
it's a different tax.
JW,
we just start funneling him tons of the business.
They suck at taxes.
JW Tax sucks at taxes and a bad guy. They do
I've
exist.
been audited so many times.
Not a sponsor. He's not a sponsor.
Yeah, not a sponsor.
Don't Google JW. Google BW. The curling was a big controversy. Everyone was really upset.
Yeah.
Well, I've been me and Abby been watching it pretty consistently.
Do you understand the rules yet? Because we haven't looked at the rules.
I feel like I do,
but we don't quite understand. But we're like,
I feel like this is the first year that I'm like, I feel pretty comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Now all the terminology, I don't know. Like when they talk about like, oh, this rock has a name. And
this is shot rock, and this one's on
shot rock.
That one's in the house.
Okay, guys, whatever you're saying right now, that's how I feel when people watch Lord of the Rings. Like whatever that feeling is, it's like I kind of get what's going on, but I don't really.
But
that's
not
me.
Really.
Yeah. Frodo, Bilbo. It's a Hobbit. It's not Narnia. It looks like Narnia to me.
Obi-Wan. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, okay, I can relate now, but
no,
we've been, especially because we've been up at like 3 a.m. for
not a guy with kids.
Just for fun.
There's three reasons why we've been up, but so and then curling's always on, so we're like, let's just watch curling if we're up.
Sounds great.
Might as well.
I want to try it.
Well, go USA beat Canada. We got to say it again. Any more save rounds or alibis?
Robert Duvall passed away, aka Lieutenant Colonel Bill Kilgore. You put that in there
from Godfather.
Dang, yeah,
a lot of things. Robert E. Lee from Gods and Generals. I mean, that's what hit my heart. I think Godfather and Robert E. Lee and Bill Kilgore.
Ooh, Lonesome Dove.
Yeah,
he's great,
Lonesome Dove.
I like
his
character a lot in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
I do. I like that movie a lot.
No. Yeah.
166 is great.
Underrated.
Out of his whole catalog, that's what
that's it. That's his best
like
role.
Oh man, I love Scarlett Johansson in Home Alone 3.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. She's so great in that.
I had so much fun. To Kill a Mockingbird, Tender Mercies. Thank You for Smoking. I forgot he's in that one. A huge fan of Thank You for Smoking. The Judge, my wife and I watched recently.
Great Santini.
People in College White. Great Santini, Beaufort, South Carolina.
I'll say that was
Pat Conroy, Citadel grad. Yeah. It's on Sling Blade. My buddies watched in college. I could never really get into it, but I respect the acting. It's fun to bait Mark Ripito in the starting strength account. Because I can bait engagement on X. And last night I was just like, I wonder what Mark Ripito is doing right now. And instantly retweeted, posted, watching the entire Robert Duvall catalog. And I'm like,
on
DVD. What else could you want? R.I.P.
Dang, yeah.
This is breaking news to me. I did not realize he passed away.
Oh,
yeah, he's dead.
So I'm
dead.
I'm
sorry.
upset. Yeah.
You want a moment of silence for the troops?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, hang on. Let me take my hat off.
Okay. I can't go that high. I started too high. Appreciate it.
Never forget, we support the troops. That's sad. Hey, time marches on. Sammy Kershaw? Who said time marches on?
I think it's Sammy Kershaw.
Time marches on. If only I had a device. Tracy Lawrence. Yeah. You know why you know that? Because you're from Texas. Hey, a couple other, we had some comments we didn't read out. BW Tex himself commented on your deadlift and said you should add some tall grass because 405 was too easy.
It was so easy.
Yeah. Dude, you could have done 500 for 5.
Dude, the first
Probably
rep of that
not.
looked so easy.
It was the straps.
Where'd you get those straps?
Get strapped, brother. Get strapped or get clapped.
Yeah, that's what I always say.
That's what I've always said.
What straps did you tell me to use?
The strength straps. Oh, you're using the necktie ones. The necktie.
Yeah, the necktie ones. I really liked them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
I've never used those before. What's the? What
yeah, so the guy that ships our Wisconsin warehouse has gotten into leather making. I say gotten in. He's been into it for 5 years. So he makes our belts. He makes straps. And I've always been the loop guy. Like, it's like, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like one end with a loop. You go through. Strap. Like, that's always been my style. And he was like, use these necktie ones. They're way better. And I was like, nope, I've done the figure 8 thing. I've done all this stuff. I'm a loop guy. And then I think on deployment, he sent me some and I didn't bring any. And I was like, oh, this is way better. So it's just like I don't even know how to, it's like putting on a bracelet, right? So you put the bracelet on, and then on the inside of your palm, it comes together and there's one piece of leather that comes out. So you just put it on like a bracelet, and that's hanging down like between your middle and ring finger. Okay. And then you just flip that back and grab it. And it's actually better because with the loop one, there's like a left and a right. Actually, I mean, there's not. You could pull it out and go through the other way, but there's kind of a left and a right, or it has to be set up for a left and a right, I guess is the right way to put it. And yeah, they're phenomenal. And there's like less extra leather hanging because everyone wants to like grab all the leather. I'm like, you're missing the point. Like, it just has to go around and you grab it. Yeah, big fan of the necktie, and Trey used them. Yeah, it was great. I'll also say
that's
Trey.
The only reason I think that's the only reason I was able to do it. I think.
Yeah, that was the only reason. Okay. Auburn. You also could have Auburn. You also. The great thing about us podcasting last week is when we finished podcasting, I definitely put up everything organized, and tonight was so easy to set up.
So like, easy. You used your system that you always use.
It went off without a hitch. And I was on 2 podcasts last week, but I was on them. Stronger for Life. Go check that one out. Okay. Yeoman. That's YEOMAN. Yeoman podcast. They're both out. I was on both those. They were at times where I did them for my warehouse. I did bring my second mic over there, but I didn't have the lights, a good camera. Podcast people, Jordy's like, you just need a good mic. And I'm like, looking at the clips people are making. I'm like, no, you definitely need a good camera. You guys are idiots. Sorry, Jordy. In any event, I came in here tonight at like 7:45. And I was like, oh my goodness, I left the gym in such a hurry. There's like cables everywhere, but here we are. Went off without a hitch. All right, we're not going to hit 2 hours. We're at 1:55.
Hey, okay.
So, any more save rounds, Jeff?
Rounds complete.
Shout out. Trey, bring this thing down for 11. So good use of splash.
Oh, sure.
Bring it down for a landing.
Splash. Okay, my bad. What episode? 097?
Look at you paying attention in the Slack channel.
Dude. Coming up on 100. It's episode 097 of the
Okay.
Podcast. I'd like to thank our guest, Troy. No last name, kind of like Cher. It's just
Campbell,
Troy.
like the soup.
Campbell, that's it. Troy
Senior.
Campbell, good guy, better at alignment work.
Very true.
We've always said that. But no, great conversation. Really enjoyed having him on. Wanted to come back, talk football whenever it gets a little bit closer. So looking forward to that. As always, like to thank our sponsors, BW, some people call him JW, but I prefer BW Tax, LLC.com. Good guy, better at taxes. We would like to also thank our sponsor, Green Gridiron. Gridiron Green, Mr. Helmet. Get your helmet any size, big or small. I prefer them without visors. People who do like visors, pretty lame. Just scientific fact. So get them without a visor. But you can get those if you look at the link below. Click that link, get yourself a Seahawks 12s. Is that what you call yourself, Jeff?
Oh, yeah, the 12s, the original 12th man, Seahawks.
Yeah.
Go
yeah,
Seahawks, 12th man.
Jeff's getting a cease and desist in the mail from Texas A&M. Get yourself 12 helmets. Why not? So, go ahead and do that there at the link below. While you're down there, go ahead and look at the Slack channel link. Use code OK, get yourself a little discount. Love to talk to, if you want to get started with strength training, it's a great place to do it at. They got great coaches. There's an AI bot who can coach you on just about everything. But we also have a ton of other topics that we like to discuss on there. Food, coffee, Bitcoin.
Fountain Valley t-shirts.
Fountain Valley t-shirts. We talk about it all there. Great place, good people. Love to see you there. Most importantly, though, go to www.theokpodcast.com. You will find all the social media links that you can subscribe to. You click them. We're very active, so we know all the terminology that goes along with that.
Active.
I'm pretty sure we're live on something right now. What we're live on, we don't know.
We try. It says live at the top.
I feel like it's maybe a MySpace. It's live on LinkedIn. I don't know. What's one of those? We are powered by the strength codes you see from this shirt, Jeff's shirt, and the banner behind Grant's normal size head.
And the 225 that's not 315 on my t-shirt.
the 225/315. That's on Grant's shirt.
Yeah.
But love they keep the lights on. Coach, did I miss anything?
No, I did a great job. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.